Hey, Phil here from BTP. Just a quick video about Paul Pogba, which of course most United fans are talking about today, which we shouldn't be talking about today, but it's an all too familiar tale. Um, for those of you out there who think there's an agenda against Paul Pogba, you're insane. You can apologise for him all you want. He's a grown man. He's responsible for his own behaviour. And high-profile people divide opinion, and so does Solskjaer, so does lots of people. Um, but he's also responsible for the people who work for him. Mina Raoila doesn't say anything without Paul Pogba's approval. He's his highest profile client. Um, and so he's been working for Paul Pogba for a long time. This is not a new issue. It's just something that's been going on for a long, long time. I mean, I just want to mention a few things. First of all, I don't understand how any of this helps Paul Pogba in any way. He holds all the cards. Manchester United have to sell him. They're a business. There's no way they're going to let Paul Pogba run down his contract. If he goes into Manchester United and says, listen, I absolutely will not sign a contract. I won't even talk about it. So things are absolutely clear. United will sell him. We'll do everything they can to sell him in January. So I can only assume that the only reason why Reload did this is to try to drive down the price, to make Pogba as toxic as possible inside that football club. United are willing to move him on. And we're at the point now where we're talking about a guy that would be a net positive if we sold him and got rid of him and out of the dressing room, even without a replacement. Because it's now, the ball's now back on Solskjaer's court, and Manchester United must allow Solskjaer to be a manager, because this is one of the problems that's blighted United managers, Chelsea managers as well. They don't have complete control of their personnel. And if you've got a guy that is undermining your manager, undermining your dressing room, undermining your football club, regardless of the fiscal loss, he has to be sold. He has to be moved on, right? Because if not, it sends a terrible message to other players. It also affects the mood in the dressing room, and it undermines Solskjaer's his authority with other players, right? So you must, whatever accommodations you make for Pogba, you must make for everybody. So Solskjaer is in a really difficult situation. He's now going to have to come out and defend the indefensible prior to Leipzig. If you're one of United, if you're a Manchester United player, how angry must you be at Paul Pogba, right? I mean, to do this now, this is a guy that when he came to Manchester United, he was on the verge of being a world-class player. Very, very talented young boy. And most United fans were ecstatic. I was when they signed him. Very, very happy. And for a long time, made excuses. You know, Manchester United have done so much to accommodate him. Buy different players to unlock him. Remember that was a discussion? All these different excuses. Nobody needed to buy anybody to unlock Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes came in and showed he's world class. That's the thing about world class players. There is no debate whether they're world class. They show you every week. But with Paul Pogba, we're not debating if he's world class. We're trying to debate what his best position is. At 27, if you don't know what your best position is, you've no right to be discussed as a world class player. If you want to be the creative hub of a football club, and if you want to be that number 10, if you want to call it that, you have to score more than one goal since 2019. You just scored a second goal since 2019. Now, imagine where United would be without Bruno Fernandes. Now, imagine where it would be without Paul Pogba. If you look at United's results without him, they're a better team without him than they are with him. So the only thing that's left to decide is the financial side of this. If United can get him to Juventus in January for 15 million, I'd take it. Or even a swap deal with Dybala. Absolutely. I'd take it. I certainly wouldn't worry too much about whether he's going to leave a gap in the team. United finally were proactive in getting Van de Beek in the summer. So I would assume, judging by reports where he made his mind up in April that he wasn't going to sign a new contract, and United knew this, hence why they went out and got Van de Beek, as this is a very real possibility. So I think this is someone that you can't play. Imagine you get dropped for Paul Pogba. Imagine how you would feel. If you get dropped for Paul Pogba today, you'd be livid. So to me, he's made his position at Manchester United untenable. I never want to see him in the United shirt again. Quite frankly, I'm done with him. I don't care that he wants to leave. It means nothing to me. Human beings changing employment means nothing to me. In life, it's usually about how you do something, not what you do. And I don't understand how this helps Paul Pogba in any way, as I've said. So to me, I just want the guy gone at this point. I don't feel United can ever become a championship winning team with him in the squad. And I just think that all parties have to accept that this didn't work, move on, get him out of the football club, and continue the evolution of Manchester United, because there's improvement happening at United. So, to me, I just want him gone. I think I speak for most United fans when I say it's not about him wanting to leave, it's about how he goes about it. And I'm fed up with talking about this. I'm fed up this being a narrative. Even after he scored at the weekend, I want to forgive him. I want to like him. I want to. I was so happy that he scored at the weekend, not just because United needed the goal, but because it was him. Because I desperately want to see the player that I hoped United signed. And I don't care what line of employment you're in. When you leave your current employer to go to someone else, how you do it says a lot about you as a person. And the new employer should look at your behaviour and your character on the way out, because one day you'll leave them. And that says a lot about you as a person. Will you leave them on the same terms? To me, over and done with, let Paul Pogba move on, and he should be sent home immediately. He should not be anywhere near that squad at Leipzig. Shouldn't be anywhere near Manchester United between now and January, and they desperately have to get him out of football club in January. It's one of the most important things for that football club, and for Solskjaer, for him not to be a lame duck manager. You know, have to show. Ferguson said this too. Doesn't matter how good the player is. Okay, once they undermine the manager and once they undermine the football club, they have to be moved on. And United have had to do this in the past with players. You know, I said the same about Wayne Rooney with his behaviour when he held United to ransom, which I've shown on my Twitter feed. They should have binned him, got rid of him, right? Totally unacceptable. Even if he was right in his principle about United not investing, still should have been sold. And Pogba may have the same issue, I don't know. I said back then a couple of months ago that I would look at that contract situation very, very closely, because one of the issues that he'd been complaining about before was he felt like United didn't support him with they didn't fulfill their promises to him in their contract discussions about investment and all that. So watch what they do over the summer. If they don't invest properly, it's very possible Paul Pogba will leave. I don't blame him, again, like I said, for wanting to leave. It's just about how he does it. Have respect for the fans. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People are losing their homes. Manchester United fans are going to food banks. Take a look at Marcus Rashford, compare and contrast. I'm not saying he has to be Mother Teresa, but there's a way of doing things. And to me, he's let himself down, he's let his football club down, and he's out of chances. So, be back tomorrow with a podcast, folks, on BTP at Beyond the Pitch. Go ahead and give me a follow, give the podcast a follow. Appreciate all your likes, downloads, retweets, beyond flattered. And thanks for everything that you do. Hope you're all safe and sound and doing well. As you can tell, I'm a bit upset about this Pogba situation, but I want to stop talking about this. So, hope you're all well. Thanks, folks.